Here we have 4 men. The Shadow Führer, Martin Bormann, the Fat One, Hermann Meer, the Architect of the Reich, Albert Speer, the Butcher, Reinhard Heydrich. These 4 people are the successors to the Führer in the TNO mod, which is a world where Germany won World War II. That's a good question. Because they are not like you. You're just a soldier no one cares about. You stupid. First of all, let's rule out Himmler and Goebbels. Because in TNO, Goebbels was assassinated and Himmler was sent to Burgundy. So, let's start with Martin Bormann. In July 1933, he became the chief of staff to the office of the Deputy Führer Rudolf Hess. Later, in October of the same year, he became a Reich leader, Reichsleiter. As you know, Hess went on a trip to the UK in 1941, and Bormann took over his position as Deputy Führer, and he renamed this position to Chief of the Party Chancellery, making him the second most powerful man in the party. In 1943, he became Führer's personal secretary, making him one of Führer's closest advisors, known as the Shadow Führer. Bormann's role was mostly behind the scenes, not seeking public attention, but focusing on manipulation from the shadows, controlling all communication with Führer. However, his personality wasn't particularly likable, and he had no friends within the party. If he were to succeed Führer, he might find it challenging to gain supporters. Speaking of friends, meet Hermann Göring, Meer. Unlike Bormann, everyone knew him. He could be the Air Marshal, Reichsmarschall, President of the Reichstag, Minister of Economics, Minister of Aviation, and Minister of Forestry. And everyone loved him. Mostly in our timeline. Göring was not particularly bright as the Air Marshal, especially after he befriended morphine. But don't forget, he was appointed Reichsmarschall, with power greater than anyone in the party, second only to Führer. Göring was given this title in 1940, granting him nearly unlimited power in military affairs, especially in leading the Luftwaffe. Unlike Bormann, Göring had many friends within the party. His luxurious lifestyle and impressive attire made him popular both within the party and among the public. Given his numerous friends in the party and his military power, he had significant support from the military, making him a very likely candidate to succeed Führer. Next, Albert Speer. He is considered one of the few more benign high-ranking figures in the Third Reich. Speer took over as Minister of Armaments and War Production in 1942, responsible for nationwide armament production and industrial resource allocation, and did an excellent job. Despite continuous Allied bombings, Germany's armament production remained high in the latter part of the war. Speer's architectural talents made him Führer's favorite architect, tasked with designing Berlin's reconstruction plans, aiming to transform it into the world capital, Germania. Compared to the other successors, Speer was more of a technocrat. Politics wasn't his strong suit, but his close relationship with Hitler helped. This might explain why Führer didn't rage when Speer opposed the scorched earth policy in the latter part of the war. This also showed his differing views from the party, making him somewhat open-minded and attracting many reformists. Interestingly, after the war, Speer stated that he didn't know about or commit those brutal atrocities, though this remains somewhat controversial. Last one, Reinhard Heydrich. Heydrich was appointed Deputy Protector of Bohemia and Moravia in 1941, and what he did in Czechoslovakia needs no elaboration. He was also chief of the Reich Main Security Office, overseeing the Gestapo and the Kriminalpolizei, Kripo. Heydrich was one of the most terrifying monsters in the Reich. Honestly, I think Heydrich is the least likely successor among the 4. If he had lived until the war's end, he wouldn't have been able to surpass Himmler. Führer did think highly of him, but compared to Bormann, Göring, and Speer, he wouldn't have many supporters, not to mention the were matched. They didn't like the SS at all, and other high-ranking officials didn't welcome his methods. Most importantly, he had almost no friends, except for Himmler, and unlike Bormann, he didn't possess the same extensive power that Bormann had. So, after all this, my conclusion is, if we exclude Himmler and Goebbels, the most likely successor would be Hermann Göring, followed by Martin Bormann. I don't think Speer and Heydrich had the power to compete with the others. No. You know what? None of those four are fit to run the country. Forget it. I'm handing the job over to the worm-matched.